Shall we start the game? I hope I can start the game because so that everybody won't need to wait for long. Let's start the quiz and let's see what you will see the screen on your screen, these questions as well. You have to select the question as per the part. Some questions you need to think. Some of the timings are very limited. So just read the question and tell your best possible option what you think. There is nothing right, nothing wrong. You will not be scored based on your fast to answer. There will be some numbers will be given to you, but don't worry about those numbers. We want to know your opinion on this part. So shall I go for the first question now? You are getting the first question. Oh, sorry. Okay, we have 12 seconds left. Last 1 second. And so I hope that you will be interested in knowing what is the mood of the people actually. So as a primary grade 3 teacher, what you will do the best actually? What is your main primary job practically? Whether you design the minute by minute plan, I let the students to make their choices and choose their topic and teaching method. I use high quality international e-learning for teaching in the class, or I let students to correct their answer sheets. Let's see what the good. Now here is a key word is as a primary grade 3 teacher. Is a really important word is there. And if you read the NEP, you will get one good sense of your understanding if you go through the part that the NEP is not talking about the content. NEP is talking about the skills. And what here in Finland, we give a bigger picture for that as a kind of a transversal competences. Now, when we have the skills to work with, it is really highly impossible that you can design each minute by minute plan, get ready-made copy-paste template from someone. Many schools come to us and say that, okay, can you give us the curriculum? I said, what exactly mean by that? No, can you give us the ready-made 45 minutes template that what exactly you do in Finnish schools, minute by minute plan? And I said, we don't have that kind of concept here. And the reason behind that part, because we are still accustomed to the concept that we have to teach the content to the students. There is some shift in the focus that we need to do. I hope we will discuss that at a part. I will tell the answer to this question, that what is the right answer, which is more closer to NEP. There is no one right answer, but which is the one of the closest answer that will make you NEP ready school. That I will give you towards after the break. I hope you will be interested in that part. So let me go to the another question actually. You will see the next question. As a preschool teacher, my main job is. is over. Thank you very much. This was intentionally, this was we put it only for 30 seconds because we want you to give your first thought. So let's see how the things are going on. Very good. Okay. So obviously, I think one of the most non-required answer is all good that it is 0. Is it possible for the students at this age to make my students think creatively? The here keyword is preschool teacher. So we need to know that what is our target audience, and based on that, what we exactly do. Nevertheless, perfect. So I think this is a good part. I will also give the answer to this part in the second part of this workshop. Let's go to the last and next slide actually. And this is, you have to write it down actually. You have 3 minutes. So as a school head or a management, my top 3 goals for the next 3 years in my school. Please take your time. We have enough time for that. You have enough time, so please don't hurry yourself actually. It's not a one single answer is required. So we have crossed the half the mark now. We have 50 seconds to go. Okay, last 15 seconds, and then you submit whatever you have. So good turnaround. We have already crossed halfway mark. Thank you very much. Good one. Thank you. I can see that there are very good answers. That okay, what is my role, and what change I would like to make in this part. We will come to this part soon as well. So thank you very much, and I really highly appreciate that your enthusiasm and for participating in this process. Thank you very much for that. We will come to the actual answers just in a minute or so. Actually, this in the next second half of this session. So give me a second and I can continue with my presentation. So I think that with these questions, you might have seen that there is not a single right answer that what you are coming up with. And when people compare Finland versus India or something, they get some misconceptions. And one of the bigger misconceptions, and which I would like to clarify that on the first part, there is a misconception that in Finland, the teachers get the highest salaries. So let's break that first misconception. These are the average salaries, which are as per the government of Finland statistics of the salary survey, as well as there are some websites through which you can find this information, that what is the typical salaries of the teachers versus many other professionals. If you can see here that the teachers are not even getting the highest, they are not even getting the what is the average salaries actually. So national average is 3594. They are getting less than the 3594 salaries. Now, definitely, we don't want to compare between different countries, but let's say even if within the Indian median salary earners versus the government salaries of teachers within India, you will be able to see where is that. So motivation of the good schools is not the teachers' salaries. I think this proves this as a part of one of the structure. As well as if you see this graph that as a national average of different countries, on the x-axis there are different countries of the OECD countries are there. You will see that the Finnish average salary is not even at the very top. It is in the middle actually. Finland is paying the teachers, in fact, less than the average salaries as per the even OECD countries, as per that part. So I think data speaks the truth. So this is our work, what we are doing with the Council for Creative Education. I already introduced, like Archana ma'am already introduced me, but I think it's my now time to tell what exactly at CCE we do and what is our role. So we are official member of Education Finland, and I'm really happy that there are a few other. My colleagues are also here. Those who work with us, Niels is there, and my colleague Simran is here, and as well as my other team members from CCE teams are also here. Those who work with us to make the education better for the tomorrow's world. So this is the one thing. So we work to invent, research, and educate in the creative pedagogy. So Finland is known for its various creative ways of teaching and learning, and you can't take Finnish trust or you can't take the Finnish culture to different country, but definitely you can learn something from that. And which is one thing which you can learn is definitely how the pedagogy can be transformed, how the teachers training can be transformed, and more importantly, how the curriculum can be used in an open way and creative way. So while working on that part, we work on this, and we work with many universities across the globe, like Montana State, Powys County, or we are really fortunate that we work with the University of Pune for research in this education, which is Savitribai Phule University of Pune Vidyapit, what we call. We work with the governments like Kingdom of Bahrain, Nigeria. Within India, we work with Chhattisgarh, we already talked. We have our own schools developed across different parts of the world. We have a school called Silicon City, which is around the 1,600 student school, which is a so-called CBSE syllabus school, but Finnish curriculum school. I'm using words very particularly. So Silicon City school from Bangalore, it is around 1,600 students. They follow the CBSE syllabus, but they use the Finnish curriculum. Same thing, the TAS, which is the academic school, they follow the ICSC syllabus, but they follow the Finnish curriculum. So that kind of schools we are developing in India as well. And we have our partner organizations working with us and so on. So this is our work. This is our spread of our work, how we are spread across different parts of the world. We have our major concentration in Asia, mainly working with the schools in South Korea. We have school in Vietnam and India. That's the Asian number part. And then in African continent, we are now putting our foot mainly in Nigeria and as well as in South Africa. So that's a brief about what exactly we do as a part of the work. And then we design some teacher training workshop for the teachers as well as for the principals. I think many of these participants, what I can see in this webinar, they have attended, some of them have already attended some of the courses, like our courses of diploma in early childhood education, or courses like phenomenon-based learning, or one of the key course which is called as a Finland education model in Marathi course. We are doing we have the same Finland education course in Marathi, Hindi, and many other Indian languages what we are working on that part. So this is our brief part, what exactly we are working on. But one more thing actually which we do is that people across the globe come to visit Finland pre-pandemic, and on an average we used to get around 5,000 to 10,000 educators every year in Finland, and out of which we were serving most chunk from that. And whenever they come and see the Finnish schools here, while going out, we ask them, what did you see in Finnish schools? They never say, okay, we saw infrastructure. These are the words which are coming from the educators coming from outside Finland, and they see that, okay, what do they mean by the Finnish schools? What they learn from the 1 week or 2 weeks of their education tour. And this is their answer. They talk about learning communities. They say that, okay, in Finland, we didn't see a lot of competition. We see a lot of teamwork, cooperation. We didn't see the principals are talking about administrative problems only. They are talking about the pedagogical issues. The principal is leading pedagogically, not through only administrative way. Less is more. Flexible ways of learning. There are no dead ends in Finland. That even if, let's say, if you want to learn at the age of 70, Finland is giving you opportunity to do whatever you want to learn, even at the age of 70, there are grants available for that, there are support available from the government. So while understanding this concept, this is kind of a utopia for you. But I would like to break that utopia in the Indian context, and let's try to see what Indian narrative of education towards the world, which India should propagate, and where the PUSMA or all the private unaided schools or even the government schools also should have the part. And for that, we have already worked with these key principles of NEP. I'm sure most of you have already seen this slide hundreds of times. So you might have read this, that what are the key principles of NEP, why we are doing it. We are looking for equity and inclusion. We are looking for community participation. Community participation is the learning communities in Finland. Use of technology, ICT solutions, creative thinking, critical thinking and creativity is more towards how the learning things happens, as well as learning to learn approach. So these are our continuous reviews or kind of a self-assessment where people are looking for. But I will now give you only 2 minutes. Can you summarize this entire slide in one single line? Not more than 6-7 words. Can you summarize what do you think by NEP for you? What is the key summary of NEP? What exactly is NEP looking from us? So you just take the Zoom chat and send the message to everyone here. Archana ma'am, I think everyone can send the message.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So I want you to tell exactly. So Swapna Kulkarni mentioned it's an all-round development. Thanks, Swapna ma'am. It's a need of the hour. Very good. It's a universalization of education and equity. Good one. Skill development. Good one. Skill-based training. Holistic development. Equal and progressive learning. Holistic development. Learning life skills. Good one. Good one. Real education for all. Okay. Phenomenal human beings. Learning for life. Very good. Value-based, skill-based. PBL. Okay. Very good. Okay. overall development, learning practical approaches. Super. Good one. And also I would like to thank in this process Saket Tiwari sir, because actually he has introduced me to Archana ma'am and actually this entire network actually. So thanks for that. And I can see that, okay, even though he's having his busy schedule, he really makes sure that, okay, he attends all the meetings and webinars quite honestly. So I really appreciate this. Great.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome. So, okay, so I think if you see one word which will summarize all the responses here, is that we are moving this. What is the main change that we are moving? That we are changing from content to the skills. It's very easy to say that, okay, that we would like to imbibe the skills, but believe me, Finland is trying this for last 30 years and still Finland cannot say that, okay, that we are really great in doing this. And leave about Finland, for that matter, it is very difficult to really gauge how the skills and transversal competences can be imbibed as a part of the school education. And this is a big change, big challenge, big one thing which has been promised by the so-called government to our future generations. And government cannot do anything on this part. Let's try to understand this part. Government cannot do anything in this process. Even the only school cannot do anything in this part. One person who can make the change in this entire process are the teacher. Teachers are the one who can make this change possible. And that was, I was giving you the reference from year 2009 when India started working on to the RTE. Do you know another important time when the India has really started working on something on the skills part? Anyone knows? I think I will give you a kind of a bonus reward, some bonus reward. If you can tell me one date on which India really stood that, okay, this is our strategy, that we are going towards the skill curriculum. Can you tell me that date? It is definitely after 2009 and before 2022. That one date. Can you type that date here? Which date will make the India's change of content to the skills, learning for life skills? What that date? Just try your best. Okay, 2nd October 2014. No. There is a one GR which came to every one of you practically. Somehow, even if you are a private school, that GR should have been there, but somehow we totally unnoticed it. Okay, somebody saying 15th October 2000, 2nd October. No. I think people are talking about the first draft of the ADP. Somebody is coming closer. It is 27th August 2018. I think Subhatra ma'am or Subhatra sir actually. So I don't know. What was about 27th August 2018? What happened on that day?
Skill India was introduced.
Oh, Skill India was introduced. Good one. Okay, good one. Okay, so we are quite close. But from the education perspective, actually, I'm saying Skill India was definitely, yes, definitely. So there is something which is very close to you actually, which was done actually.
Okay.
Now let me now tell you actually, just to make sure that, okay, the date is 27th March 2017. This date, Government of India, Minister of HRD, roll out the first GR as a part that the entire curriculum as per the NCERT will be rolled out as per the learning outcomes and as per the skills. These are the wording inside that GR. And when we started working with various governments, including Chhattisgarh part, we cited that this is the real crux of the story, that if we want to change something, this is the only one thing we should start with. Unless and until we move ourselves towards the more skilled way of learning, and instead of teaching the content, if we start learning the skills, this is the way. Somehow we ignored that indication which was being really planned. Why I'm citing you all these examples that now it's a time that we should not ignore what NEP is telling us. What is NEP document is telling us is the text, but how we should be able to get the clear essence of that, I think this webinar will make you think about that process altogether. So the real crux of the story, that how we are developing this part. So what we are doing actually is that, are we taking our entire learning process to more towards the higher order thinking skills? Or are we just about ourselves, concentrating ourselves into the remembering the facts and understanding the basic concepts? Are we putting the applications of those concepts? Are we analyzing those concepts? Are we able to create some new knowledge out of that? Are we investigating the facts? Are we evaluating the part? Are we giving the arguments to the part? Are we giving critical analysis to that? So this is what the bigger picture of the part. And 27th March 2017 was the date on which Government of India really decided to do that. Somehow teacher community ignored that date, and it's a very sad thing. At least now we should be very aware that why we should learn NEP, or why we should be able to read NEP thoroughly, because we as a teacher should know what is happening for us in India actually. So this is the first fact. This is the one thing. But to make sure, the first essential that we have to change our approach of changing the one thing out of 5 essentials I will tell. And there are altogether 27 essentials are there. But if I cover all 27 this essential, it will take multiple hours. So we are breaking this first 5 essentials I will talk today, and remaining essentials we will break in different webinars if this allows, or if you are interested, if not. So how this happened actually? So Finland, way back, when decided to change its way of teaching, the real crux of the how you can be able to learn the skills is that you need to first understand what skills are required for your future world, for your future citizens. So in Finland, as we have the Ministry of Education and Ministry of Labor, within that we have department as a department of future. It's a very bold statement that government can make. So in this future department, and also with the Department of Statistics, they come up with the statistics and information that what our citizens need in the future. And this survey was made in 2011. And if you see that what kind of citizens Finland need in the future, is that they don't need technicians, they don't need engineers, they don't need artificial intelligence specialists, but they need people who are active and innovative. They need multi-skilled experts, lifelong learners. They need committed to the community, critical thinking, analytical thinking, multilingual. And I think this makes a logical part. Such a small country of 5.5 million. And if I tell you some of the brands which are using in your daily life, earlier you were using Nokia phones, now you don't use it, but I'm sure that the call which are connected to you comes from Nokia networks only. Most of the networks within the world, now they are managed by the Nokia's network part, which is not the mobile phone, but what happens beyond antenna and in the mobile network. Maybe most of us, when you press the lift button or elevator button, you see this word called KONE, K-O-N-E, KONE. It's a Finnish company. I think if you are having one of the very prestigious scissors, that most of us are here actually are the females actually. So females, if you cut anything scissors, one of the high quality scissors which you get also in India are the Fiskars scissors. So that's a Finnish brand. How a small country like this can be able to create part is because they have a vision, or Finland has a vision of being a multilingual and international minded citizens. Because whatever you do for such a short population of 5.5 million, you can't create a business, you can't create an economy out of that. So for Finland, this was the requirement. For India, we will have similar requirements or different requirements. But nevertheless, are these skills portfolio ready with us? The answer is partially yes. NEP has given, and I want you to do this homework. This is a homework. There is a misconception that in Finland we don't give homeworks. Again, that's a second misconception. In Finland, in Finnish schools, we do give homeworks. But we give homework not just to write 10 words from here to here, but instead of that, we give the homework so that you can go and think about what happened in the lecture or what happened in the class. So I want you to go check the NEP document. The short version of NEP document from India, Ministry of Education, is just 88 pages are there. In the 88 pages, I want you to tell me what section covers this skills requirement for India. What exactly skills are required? Are we clear on that part? And if you don't read that, I think we as a teacher are not giving our full potential to our future generation. That's my sincere claim, actually. Please don't take it otherwise, but this is what we should know, actually, in practice. So with the skills we understood, actually, do we need to change the pedagogy? We need to change the teaching method for that. The answer is yes. And Finland also did the same way, actually, altogether. So this particular model, which was been suggested by the Michael Fuller and Maria Langworthy in the Pearson publication by Rich Sim, what Michael says that gone are the days where the content was important. Gone are the days when the content was important, because content was important earlier when it was a luxury to be having. For example, if I way back in 1990s, if at all, when I was a student, actually, when I want to get a book, I need to be in the library line, or I need to get something onto the copy paste with the photocopiers. But nowadays everything is online, content is available online. So I think the objective for the teacher was to teach the content, and which was perfect. It was good at that time. But in the current world, when technology is so advanced, does it make sense to teach the content? Or there is a lot of content available, or do we need the skills to understand which content is important for me? Whatever is in the book, if I just teach that, does it make sense? Or can't the students go and read that book on their own? Can't we do our students create methods by which they should be able to learn on their own, learning to learn methods? And these are one of the skill which is mentioned into the national education policy. So what we need is that we just don't need the incremental approach in the learning, but we need the in the thinking of how we can be able to imbibe the critical thinking. Sorry, I think there is can I request to mute the microphone? Thank you. So this is one major change which the Finland brought, and also we as an Indian should learn from this change, how this thing happened actually. Now, to make this possible, the second requirement is that we need to have open curriculum. I'm not saying syllabus, but open curriculum. And here the word open is really important. And to talk about this part, I want you to take a short break, because in Finland, when we start the school, after every 45 minutes, we have a break of 15 minutes and we come back. The concept is called as a spaced learning here. So because of students as well as adults, they have some kind of we do a lot of activities, like for example, right now we did activities, games, or we played this quiz, but still your brain stops working after some time. So I want you to take a short break of 6 minutes and come back, just have some water, have some coffee, and we'll come back. So it's right now 12:21 in Finland. I will come back at 12:27. So 6 minutes break, and then we'll talk about the curriculum, which is the second essential of this part. Thank you very much. Let's come back.
GP다. Karamba number yawa.
IGP hapte.
Now I think
की जो थी
Okay, welcome back. I hope everybody has some quick short break.
Yes.
Yes, thanks.
Yes.
So idea is that okay, when we start working with various schools across the globe, people ask the first question, okay, can we create this kind of a break culture within our school? It's practically easy. Just you plan the day that okay, you do 45 minutes class, then 15 minutes break and everything. It looks fancy, but believe me, it's very difficult to implement. And when we start working with this part, the practical issues, when we start working on that, the problem is not with the timetable. The problem is that okay, what you do in the classroom, it is more important than just creating a timetable. So everything within this structural change of creating a Finnish school or creating an NEP model school is not about the infrastructure or the logistics. It's about the pedagogy. And I'm really happy that when I saw the first draft of the NEP, the input for that was from this 2017 change of the learning outcome. That was an input to the draft. And when we were working with government of Chhattisgarh, we were so super lucky that we were being invited to present our work which we did in Chhattisgarh with the Jilla Parishad schools of how to invent this innovative and creative pedagogy in the classrooms. And those inputs were kind of a starting point for the draft of the NEP. We are really happy for that. By the time 2018, the draft was out already, but I think that was the really important point for us actually, that how we can be able to contribute this process. And when I saw the final version of that, the key point was the pedagogy. It was the first time in the entire this part, formally the pedagogy word was used several times and in the right context. So when you will come on 26th February, and I think I will take this opportunity to, with Archana ma'am, I think everybody of you know that on 26th February, there is a conference or let's say conclave is happening by PUSMA in Mumbai. The location and everything Archana ma'am can tell you. But I think that's where you need to be able to discuss some practical issues about reopening of the schools. So what will happen after pandemic? What will happen to fees? But the second part, which is more important, that okay, what will be your approach as a school management, and what is our approach as a school community towards what we can present to the India, what we can present to the world, that are we ready to become the NEP ready schools? And for that, actually, my colleague will join there live with you, Simran Balani. Simran, are you there? You just wave hands to everyone. So Simran, right now, yes, Simran, are you there? I think because I cannot see you. Oh, yeah, but yeah, okay, now I can see you. So thanks.
Can you spotlight her video? You're okay with that?
Yeah, sure.
Yes. I think that. So Simran will be with you for that day, because I cannot travel to India right now. But maybe at one day I will definitely travel. That's my plan already in place. Now the boundaries are open and travel is very free now. So hopefully I will come. But the point of the matter is that Simran is actively working with the schools within India to develop the Finnish model schools as well as NEP ready schools. So that's where she will talk about the practical issues what we faced while implementing new pedagogies in the classrooms. And I think we are really fortunate to get the great schools working with us, great teachers working with us. But it is more important that to change the way of thinking, it takes time. And that's the point on which actually we will work on this process. Okay, so with this introduction, let's go back to our again main topic. We said that okay, that the second essential is the open curriculum. We came to that point, that how we can be able to use the skills inside the classrooms or inside the schooling part. So Finland was going perfect. Finland changed its model of education. Everything was working well, and Finland was top in the OECD ranking in 2009, 2006, 2003. But Finland still decided to change its curriculum. And the reason was given by the Ministry of Education of Finland said that there is a common management principle in the world which say that if something is going well, you should not change it. You should not change the path. If something is getting better, you just don't haste up the process. But Finland said, Minister of Education here said, no, we want to change as the world is changing. If we don't give the latest skills, 21st century skills to the students for their learning process, then we will be behind. Even though we will be at the top of this OECD rank, or we are at the top at this PISA test, doesn't matter. Because Finland never tried to become the top number one. If you ask any teacher in Finland, what do you do to make the PISA number one ranking? He or she cannot answer this question. Nothing they do separately for that. There are no separate exams. There are no separate coaching classes which will make the Finnish schools as a kind of like a PISA school. But what is really important part, what they really do is really part is that strong foundation of the teacher education, strong foundation of the pedagogical framework. And third one is the curriculum. So Finland decided to change its entire curriculum in a new mode for transversal competences. And this is a one single slide will tell you that how the open curriculum can be. This curriculum framework will tell you the 7 transversal competences which are being there in each and every subject of Finnish curriculum. You take the preschool, you take the grade 1 till grade 12, you can be able to map every topic from geography, physics, chemistry, biology, languages to these 7 transversal competences. So when we work with the schools, not in the first few months, but once we start working in depth with them, we request them that can we design your curriculum with the transversal competences. And when I say your curriculum means your syllabus actually, so that the syllabus is there. I hope that everybody within this forum knows the difference between syllabus and curriculum. So the real crux or one single secret of how to make the content to skill work, make the transition from content based to skill based is to have this kind of transversal competences integrated in day-to-day subjects, including geography. But for that, we need to design those things. So this is a step number 1. Now, if you read these competences, they are pretty much generic, but they give the specific part because these are connected to the skill requirement, which I just showed that what Finland is looking for its future citizens. So they are looking for citizens who can learn to learn. Learning to learn attitude is more important than just understanding the facts. Multiliteracy. Nowadays, the students are not learning only through books. They are learning only 10% through the books, but 90% they are learning through social media, games, game zones, collaboration, social networks. That's the point where you can be able to know that how different mediums are helping you to become literate. So multiliteracy is an important part. Then cultural competence and interaction for that. So does your classroom has the opportunity for students to explore different cultures? Does your curriculum give that openness for that? Or let's say competence of the world and entrepreneurship. I'm sure that we all know the importance of the entrepreneurship. India also knows the importance of that. And I'm really proud of the Indian mentality or Indian, like I'm Indian, so actually like we have this kind of approach that, okay, we do something which is really required in a minimum resource, in a jugaad mentality, but with the maximum output, with the value for money. Now, these are the features should be there in Indian pedagogy as well. Do we have our Indian pedagogy? The answer is not. We still look at the West to find what pedagogy they are using. So Finland never copied the things as it is from other parts of the world. By the way, in Finland, whatever the pedagogy or whatever we are talking here, it's not the invented everything in Finland, but it has been researched from many other parts of the world, but adopted in its own requirements. adopted as per the needs of the requirement. But for that, first thing is that you need to know your needs. You need to know what are your skills required. So do you have the skill assessment for your school? Do we know that what are the skills are available in the schools? Do we have the skill portfolio for the school? Can you tell me top 5 skills which are required for your school after 5 years, which you would like to build? So if not, I think we are not yet ready for the becoming the NEP model school actually yet. Is it possible to start now? The answer is yes. And should we start it now? The answer is 100% yes. So this is the second important aspect, that this open curriculum should be there to connect this transversal competence to various subjects. Now, how to do that is the real crux of the story. Yes, Simran, you have raised your hand. Please go ahead. And by the way, we can take some of the questions in between as well, but I think we should go. Simran, tell me.
Thank you so much, Hiram, and greetings to everyone. And thank you for the introduction by Hiram. One thing I want to add here, I've been working with Indian schools very closely for the past year. And I also saw some very interesting comments on the chat box saying, well, NEP model school or NEP ready school is creating attraction and momentum. And I do appreciate that, because when we started working with schools, the day we signed up and we said, we are a Finnish school in making, we could have easily announced that we are NEP ready school. But we waited for a year. We wanted to put the practices in place. And this is basically not only for teachers, but also school owners. There are so many programs that we start with school owners to align their vision to what is the Finnish pedagogy and what is the NEP's crux. That is part one. And the second most important thing to get here is the process of unlearning, which comes as very difficult to us because we have been in this industry, in this field for like about 20, 30, 10 years, right? And it becomes a part of our system. So I think one of the things that in my experience, and I will talk about this when I see you all personally on 26th of Feb for the conclave, is that how do we do the unlearning process? And do we, when we say we are NEP model school, what are the factors that we are going to put in to say we are NEP ready, right? I have seen so many advertisements from different big branded schools saying we are NEP ready. What I like to see is that are these schools walking the talk? Are they having the documentations in place? So all of these competencies that we're talking about revolves around one, of course, the most important thing is teacher training, but it doesn't stop there. I think for us, what is most important is that from teacher training, how has been the classroom implementation and the parent engagement? And that is going to be my prime focus when I see you all, to talk to you how we have done that on ground in India. And it is doable, whether it is a big school or a small school. So yeah, I look forward to seeing each one of you. And thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Bhairoba Munjal, for agreeing with me. And I look forward to spending time with all of you. And thank you so much, Archana ma'am and Mr. Sakit Tiwari. Mr. Sakit has been following Finnish education and all the NEP momentum for quite long. And I really, really appreciate that. Back to you, Hiram. Thanks for giving me this time.
Thanks, Imran. I think walking the talk is the key buzzword, key word here. So that let's take a time for us. We are not in a hurry. First, try to implement, see what works for your school, and then come up with the pedagogy and framework for that. So I think that brings the next question actually, that what is the real difference between a school which is required to be developed in a Finnish or in a NEP model school, which I know now, because there is no much difference between these two terms actually, as far as the part, because what NEP is really is working on this part is one important aspect is that there is a one good phrase called as a catch them young. But catch them young, that means that, okay, we have to concentrate on what exactly skills the young population in the school or in the society requires. And this particular thing is known to you now. You might have gone through this slide hundreds of times in many NEP trainings. But real crux of the story is that what is the real focus of the early childhood education? So I think you will be interested in knowing about how the things in Finland are happening in the classroom or in the early childhood years, and seeing it with the examples. So if you say yes to me right now, then I will take you to a small virtual tour of Finnish classroom, if you allow me. And obviously through photos and videos only, it will take only 10 minutes. Just if you say yes, it is good for you, then I think we can do that actually. And then we will come back to our main topic here. Good one. So thank you very much. If yes, then I think it will be there. So once you start working on this part, the second important aspect here, you are giving the lot of the brain development requires the relationship with the nature, arts, crafts, music, everything is there. But when you start working in the pre-primary sections, you still see that you need to teach numbers first, you need to teach letters first, you need to tell them how to write the letters. Does it make sense? The NEP says that it does not. But then what is the solution for that? Can we just say that, okay, from tomorrow we will not teach you how to read and write first? But then what you will do? I think there is a concept of this actually, Archana ma'am talked about this bagless days. Fancy concept, good one. But what to do after coming to the class? Bagless days is not the putting the bags or the stationery in the classroom and just coming without the bags to the school. No, I think that will give only the employment to the furniture vendors so that they can make the furniture inside the classroom. I think there has been multiple these kind of gimmicks which has been tried in the education in the past. The real crux of the story, that can the teachers have the pedagogy or teaching methods by which you can be able to teach without books, teach without ready-made content, and use the skills for your benefit. I think that is the crux of the story, which is here. It is not about the weight of the bag. It is about what is your pedagogy, how you come up without the books, still you can be able to teach. Or if you can go forward, can you design your own books? And here the concept comes that in Finland, we have some of the schools which starting from grade 1, they start designing their own books. It's a very slow process. Maybe if you can join one of our courses, will show you how that process happens. And one of my colleague, Maria Surla, she is the real expert in this part because she has worked on these principles for last 29 years in the Finnish schools for developing the books from the scratch from grade 1 till grade 9. Slowly they develop it. The quality of books is super amazing. But what they all will come to the point is that, are we using colors, shapes, alphabets, numbers, everything what is there for the, instead of giving the intellect, are we developing the curiosity? I think that's why it comes on the top. So we are not here for the early years to develop the intellect. So that's why in the first question, I said that, okay, I will come back to you on the first question. When you give that, as an early childhood teacher, what is my first job? Is to educate the student? The answer is no. And I'm really glad that, okay, no one selected that option. It's obvious. I think that's it. But is it so? Is it my answer is to develop the creative thinking? That is also not the objective. Developing the curiosity is more important. And for that, exploring the nature, exploring the environment around is more important. So those who selected the exploring the environment, their schools are more, let's say, they will be more inclined to develop the NEP schools in the future. It's not only one answer will make the difference, but at least you know that what is the right approach that is there. So how your curriculum can be able to give the curiosity to the students instead of just checking their intellect. We are fancy, we are super excited to give the numbers and labelings to everything. So because the parents want it. Now this is another thing that, okay, most of the things schools give as a ticket to the parents that, okay, because parents want it. No, this is the time that we should, as an educators and researcher in the education, should this is not the parents, what parents want. Is the education want this? Is the students want it? Is the learning requires for that? If the learning pedagogy says that yes, it is required, then the schools and the teachers should take stand. If we don't take stand now, NEP will not be implemented. So this is a third secret of, or let's say essential, that teachers should take a stand as per the pedagogy and not what the parents wants. It's a very, very difficult, I know that part, and that's what exactly we are working with the school. It's a very difficult change to make it actually. And now we can see the change in our school teachers in India as well as in other parts of the world, that they really can say that, yes, why we are doing this change, why we are making the creative timetables, why we are making this space in between learning, because they know the logic behind that part. That unless and until we develop the curiosity, students are not interested in the class, so what else you will teach them actually? So this was the basic part. So to understand this thing in practice, I think I will take you to a small tour of Finnish early childhood classroom. Now, one sincere request, I am going to show you some photos and videos. Please don't take a screenshot of that, because we will be able to get to know that even if you share this screenshot anywhere, because as a part of Finnish law, it is not good to part. We have taken the permission from the schools for getting that, but still we don't want the privacy of the students to be compromised. And these photos are taken way back, so I think those kids are grown up. So still I request you that with a confidence, I'm asking you to just don't take the screenshots before that actually. So I think we are all in the same sync for that. Yeah. So let's go through this. Thank you, Poonam ma'am, and I think everyone who says that I can agree, and I think this is a kind of trust which is required in this forum. Give me a second, and I will come back to you on this. Where is that? So I hope you can see my screen now. So these are the typical Finnish schools look like actually. I hope many of you, because I can see many people in the participant, they have already visited Finland. And if not, please welcome to Finland after this pandemic is over. I guess from August 22 onwards, the Finnish government will start taking the international visitors again. The things are not yet confirmed, but there is a solution for you, which I will come to you just in a while, that how still you can be able to be part of this process. So you can see that to make the open curriculum, you need an open learning environment. So this is a typical Finnish preschool. You will see like a simple, this doesn't look like a school at all actually. This is not a, looks like, it's kind of a, you can see it like a kind of a play area or activity area. The logic is that that's how it should look like. In Finland, we don't call it as a daycare. We call it as a paivakoti, or preschools are called as these daycares are called as a paivakoti. Paiva is a day and koti means home. We consider that the kids, the night home is at the home, but day home is at this daycare. So that's why we call it as a day. So I think word itself signifies that you should not create a school in the daycare. You should create a home-like environment in the part. So whenever we work with many schools, and many schools are so-called ashamed to say that, okay, we are a pretty small school and we are a small preschool and we have a school in a bungalow in India. I said that's the best environment. The kids should think that, okay, I'm not going to some kind of a serious school, and that's the age group of 3 to 6 which is required in this process. NEP gives the fundamental power to all the students to be like home-like environment during daytime. That's the one single thing which is required. Now, if you want your students to learn the skills in the future, you should start and catch them young here. The reason is that one of the key skill is that you should be able to manage your life skills. Even if you are at the age of 3, 4, 5, 6, in Finland, you need to take your own tray, take the dish, eat your own food, put the dishes back to the kitchen. Though you don't need to clean it, but you need to segregate the food. If something is waste, you have to put it in the food waste. And these are the skills are required. Now you may think so that how does it connected to academics? And this is exactly the concept of academics, of integrating different subjects together. Once you know that how much food you are wasting in a day, you can add the food together for last 7 days or 6 days, and you can teach the addition, that how much food I wasted in last 1 week. Is it worth to waste that food? If at all, I know that how much food I can consume. Can I see what is the content of the food? Can't I learn the biology through that part? Definitely yes. So there is the second part is the important story of this, that one more concept, that these Finnish schools give a lot of autonomy to the teachers, but that autonomy or kind of freedom to the teachers doesn't work unless and until you give autonomy to the students. Is it possible to give the autonomy to the students of such a young age? These are all students who are of the age of between 4, 5, 6 age actually. Now what they are doing here is that they are having a kind of a common task area actually. Here there are around 45 kids in this classroom. They are divided across 9 different classrooms or learning areas. There are only 2 teachers are there, and they are asking the students to choose their own activities. And they do these activities by taking the different ways of how they can be able to learn together. And here it goes actually. So just give me a minute and I will, yes. Here it looks like actually. So every student, the names are here. These are the different learning stations and areas are here. And students, they choose their name and they put it. Now I will, this Una will take and go to classroom number 6 or learning area 6. And there are Legos are put over there and there are some books are there. Now we know, I know as a teacher that Una is now in 6th classroom and he is now doing this for next 20 minutes. Believe me, to make this happen, it takes 3 months, minimum 3 months of coordinated efforts. It's not a one night. You can go and try this. You can do it for a stage show once in a while. You can do it for your annual gathering or attracting parents. But if you really want the benefit of that, you should invest 3 months of your hard work in the preschool. And that's what we call the concept as called as a go live. So when we work with the various schools, Simran and we, as well as we have a lot of teachers, and some of the trainers are also within this group actually. They know that how we work. That when we work while working on the ground, how they can be able to use the student agency of motivational learning for them. So this is how it works. Example here, like I can see that there is 2 names, Saimi and Tilta. They are right now in this room number 4. And they are now reading about animals and they are drawing some things together actually. So that's the integrated learning what is being created for that. So these are the examples of this kind of classrooms which will make you learn about that part. One more example I will give and then we can switch, so that I don't want to put more time on that because we have 2 more essentials to cover still. Is the importance of circle time. Circle time is the very amazing concept which I saw in many of the preschools within India as well. But the objective is not to teach something, but objective is to share something, and not share from teacher to students, but student too should share to each other. That's the concept of circle. Circle has its own properties, how you can be able to make students come together, because right now we are in the remote place right now, but when we are together, the most ideal way to come together as a team, as a cricket team or kind of a football team or rugby team, they don't stand in the line when they want to discuss something. They always come together and be in a circle. That's the concept of circle time. Do we have the opportunity for students to learn in circle? So those kind of circle times will make the students to share something. Here, still you see that the teacher is telling something and everybody is watching. But after a few minutes, you'll see that the students are doing on their own something and they are sharing their experiences. What happened in the classroom? what happened in my home. Whenever the students are coming back from the weekend, they share their experience. Okay, over the weekend I did this. Okay, but what is learning out of that? So all these processes are being done as a part of the learning environment. I think this is a very vast topic. I can talk on each of the photo for at least 20 minutes, and we have around 1200 hours of recording from Finnish classrooms. But I think it is not the good time that I should be able to present all these things. But if you are interested in watching the virtual Finnish schools, you can still visit our website, and we are organizing the virtual Finland school visit. For time being, we are doing on 23rd February and 9th of March. 9th of March is another date where we are visiting the high schools in Finland. And there we are going through live classroom visits, and we are also interacting with the teachers of the part. It is a quite affordable way. You don't need to get any visa, everything, but you can go to be in your home and watch how the school interactions happens and everything, and discuss with the teachers from Finland how the things are happening in the practice. It's a very simple thing to do, so you can just check it and you will find more information. My colleague can be able to share you more information how we really work on this part. I'm sure that you guys are doing pretty amazing job. And by the way, my objective is not here that Finland is doing everything great. That's not an objective actually altogether. And by the way, even Finland don't think that, okay, we are doing great here actually. Not even Finnish teachers. We would like to learn from each part of the world, because that will give us the multicultural international approach, because our future students need to know what is happening in the world. So CC Finland with the University of Jyväskylä every year organize a conference for the UN World Innovation and Creativity Day. 21st April worldwide is celebrated as a World Innovation and Creativity Day, and CC Finland is an official host for this day celebration in Finland. So on this day, we are inviting the schools, school leaders, teachers to share their innovative ways of teaching in the classroom. Because of pandemic, for last 2 years, we couldn't do it physically. We did it online, but from this year, we are doing hybrid event. We are having the physical conference as well as online conference. Both options are there. And here we are expecting various teachers and schools to present how they are teaching innovatively in their classrooms. The conference dates are from 20th to 22nd April. So we have 2 months in hand still. Even if you would like to come to Finland, it's a great time to come. It's April time. It will be warm by that time. Right now, we can see that temperature is 0 degrees right now. Snow is still there, but it is because of it's a +1 temperature here, 0 degree. It started melting here, some part. So we have given an option that how you can be able to creative classrooms that are there. So we have a special call that you need to design an experiment of creative classroom and present it to the conference participants. You can come up with your own ideas for that. There is a second option of Socratic dialogue, where you can be able to use the Socratic dialogue principle for communicating your thoughts. You can even if you don't want to do anything of this part, you don't want to present a paper, you can just participate as an audience. So I think most of the things are up to you. So this is the second important aspect of the story here. So there are a lot of things which you can be able to do with this process as a part. So I hope that you liked some of the pictures here from the Finnish schools. We will be more than happy if we get more time and more interaction with all of you in the future. We will be more than happy to share you more ideas, because this is a passion for us, and this is what if India can get only 1% of the schools following NEP, we will change the world. Only 1% of the school. I'm giving you very practical way of how we can be able to do this in the future. Yeah. So that gives the third and important essential for all of us, which is actually it is not a third. I give the fifth one, but I think because for the presentation sake, I put it third as a number. But the third essential that you should come here is that student agency. Is your school giving enough flexibility to the students to explore the environment and design the lesson plan or whatever you are doing, by which students should be able to have the agency, not the teachers. So normally we say that, okay, what is a creative school mean? Is it the school where we can say in a simple part, a classroom where the learning time is more than the teaching time? We call it as a creative classroom. Learning time is more than the teaching time. So can we define how much is our learning time in the?
Hiram, I think Ms. Archana has a question.
No, yes.
Yeah, I just raised my hand to remind Hiram that there are some queries in the chat box. And plus, I also have certain questions of what has been covered so far. So if you can break the monotony and take a few questions now.
Yes,
I think
sure.
it will keep
I will be
people
happy
a
for
little
that.
more alert. Yeah, one query was answered by you about the number of students in the class. My question to you is, you spoke about the curriculum or the textbooks being designed by the school themselves. It is possible for a country which has got very strong teacher training for to expect the teachers to write books on their own and follow that with the children. For us to get the teachers to actually follow the board prescribed syllabus, whether it's state, CBSE or ICSE, itself is a task. Because the teacher training colleges now in the NEP, it has spoken a lot about the teacher training, augmenting it, making it 4 years, the B.Ed degree and things like that. Unless and until the practitioners themselves are brought on par, NEP will only remain on paper. So I think it's important to first go one step at a time. And I honestly, if you ask me, I think the first phase should have been the teacher training, rather than targeting the pre-primary and experimenting on the pre-primary, because those are the formative years. I would say first strengthen the teacher training and the ECCA courses which are available in India, and then we move. That's my personal opinion. But yes, I think a lot of thought has gone into the document, and every page is a treasure. When you look at that document, you feel every page is, like you said, it's a utopia. How much is practically implementable? Can our teachers actually be equipped to write the textbooks? Is it practically possible, given the kind of workload, given the kind of student strength that we have, the student-teacher ratios that we keep in our schools? So considering that, it seems, I don't know, quite an impossible task. At the cost of sounding very skeptical, I don't think our teachers are yet equipped to write their own textbooks. Yes, curriculum planning they can be part of, syllabus planning they can be part of, but a broad framework needs to be provided to them, that these are the milestones which the child needs to achieve at a certain age. Like the NEP says, that numeracy and literacy skills at grade 3. If we give that kind of a milestone, then it's possible. How can we go about addressing this is one question. Yes, one of my friends has put in the chat box, Ranjana ma'am, that writing is possible, but in a phased manner. But how do we equip our teachers to do that? Maybe the principals would be doing possible, but the teachers, are they really trained? So right now, CBSE board has started in a big way training the principals, but that training to percolate down to the teachers level is going to take some time. So that is a practical concern which I felt I should share with you.
Yeah, good point. So thanks for this actually. So as I mentioned that, okay, there are in this presentation there are 24 essentials are there. Can I request you to mute the microphone because there are 24 essentials are there. These essentials are not as the priority, or they are not as per the best one first and the last one the worst. These are all essentials, and the teacher training is also one of the essentials. I didn't come to in the first presentation for that. The reason is very simple for that. We are teacher training organization, and if we say the most important part is the training, every school, this owner will say, okay, these guys are coming here to sell the trainings. So I don't want to go into that direction. What are the things by which the school can start its own NEP implementation. That's the objective of this part. Teacher training is required for that, is must for that. It's a precursor for that. It has the presentation also on that part, how we are doing. NEP has given enough process on that part, which is definitely, yes, there is no doubt about that in part. But now, don't take an example of writing books as only NEP models. Writing books by the students or by the teachers themselves is one of the small outcome of the entire process. Giving student agency to do something on their own and understanding their contribution is more important.
कांदे वाटडे आहेत ना पाणी कुठे येते आता कचरा
Archana ma'am, can we?
Thank you. So don't take the example just as a part that, okay, tomorrow let's start working on how our students can write their own books. No, that's not the objective of what I say actually. Is it possible still that the teachers who are, let's say, we understand that the teachers are not trained because in Finland, to become a teacher, you need to go through the 5 year of rigorous university teacher training for that. India has defined the path for that. So teacher training path for this integrated teacher training courses or teacher training education with a minimum of 4 years of B.Ed integrated teaching is in place. It's a long-term path is there. There are 2-3 multiple options are there that, okay, you can be a subject teacher, complete the bachelor's in that part and integrate with the current B.Ed kind of course, which is kind of a stopgap arrangement. But in long run, you will see a 4-year integrated bachelor's of education course where you are taking the pedagogical studies, plus you are taking the subject studies at the same time. So that is one thing which has to be there, which is there. Now, second important part is that of the writing the books, it's not the output is not important. I think that's the second important aspect which I will come here is that's a secret. In the entire process of implementation of a NEP in your classroom or in your school, don't worry about the product. Worry about the process. Once you worry about the process, product will come or go, it doesn't matter. As I told you that to make the students write the book, I will show you the first year books. They are nothing but just pictures drawn by the students. It's an entire first year book, only pictures are there. Second year means the second grade students, which are around the age of 8 or 9. There are also pictures and some text is there. As they grow older, they design their own books on their own. So do we have enough patience for that? If answer is yes, then we are in a process of becoming a NEP, honestly implementing NEP. So that's my second important aspect of this answer. Perfect.
Right, sir. Thank you for answering that. And honestly speaking, I'm speaking this from experience because only the CBSE board actually strongly believes in in-house teacher training. The rest of the boards are not really concerned about even refresher courses for the teachers. So I think the NEP would be a good thing because there are people who have done their B.Eds like 30 years and 40 years back, and they're still doing the same thing year after year, refusing to budge, refusing to take training. So I have conducted trainings in schools which are like coming under the government aided banner. So this is a problem. So teacher training needs a facelift. And I think you as an organization are doing that. And we need more organizations like you to take initiative for this. And I think at the private level, definitely we can.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Simran,
you are okay. You are on the spot for that. But let me give you one important kind of a caution before we really say that, okay, that the teacher training will solve all the problems. Is that one thing is that teacher trainings, aren't they happening now? Aren't the government of India is spending teachers training cost on that? They are spending their fortunes, even all the boards and government, because I know how much cost of the government of Chhattisgarh and Maharashtra goes in the teacher training is huge. But the problem is that unless and until teachers don't get opportunity to use that what they taught or learned in the training, to implement in the classroom. They don't get that opportunity. And again, we come to that part, okay, I learned in the training. If I say anyone knows collaborative learning, everybody will say yes. Okay, anyone know phenomenon-based learning will say yes. Now, can you implement it for 1 year in your class? No, because you don't get an opportunity to do that. So when I say that, okay, you need to create this kind of framework of curriculum and everything, so these should go hand in hand. Just by expecting the teachers to be trained and they expecting everything there. So I'm focusing this broader picture. As a school management, you should take this 5 tasks in a hand of open curriculum, integrating classrooms in the subject methods, using the student agency for larger open curriculum. So these are the areas you use, and definitely train the teachers with that. And definitely we should do that. And actually
Right.
we are inviting the organizations because the need is so huge. CC Finland, because we are working with governments. So we are not the only organization who are working with that, but we are working at a large scale. For example, one of the project I will talk to you maybe in the next webinars is that we are working on training the Anganwadi teachers for how they can be able to use the teaching methods without using a book. Anyway, they are not using the book at all as of now. They are using some simple methods which are there, but how to use. But for that, the idea is to not to teach them techniques, but teach them how the students learn. That's the process. Is it possible to give it to the those who passed grade 12 or grade 10 from nearby village? That lady, can she learn? The answer is yes. Do we have evidence for that? Yes, because we have worked in the Chhattisgarh for that. The teachers, Anganwadi teachers, Anganwadi workers in Chhattisgarh, some of them, they have already started working on the innovative method and they have designed their methods for that. So definitely it's possible, provided that you give them the opportunity to experiment what they learned in the training. So we created a background for them in the training, but that how you create that learning environment in the classroom, and then we train them actually. That's the process. Yes, Simran, please go ahead.
So just to add to what Archana ma'am said, and I'm wary of the time that is running out, but when we meet again in the conference, we will elaborate more that one aspect is the owners or the school leaders training to understand how much of the training their school and teachers require. So, usually the owners are very focused on, okay, I will do 4 programs for my teachers. But we say, no, first there is program for you to understand why these programs are important, to sharpen your vision. And then there are also programs for parents. So school owners, teachers, parents, when we all 3 sets come together, we make the impact on the student. That's why when we are doing teacher training, the end aspect is the parent engagement program. And when we talk about book publishing, we have done successfully book publishing in both the schools. That's why I said that when I meet you all in the conclave, we will talk about walking the talk, right? How it has impacted our students and what are the parents saying about it, rather than we just saying everything. So teacher training is important, but owners training is more important. Parents training is equally important. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Simran.
There was one question that, okay, what is a class strength? But I will revisit this question actually. And this is a very important thing that we need to learn from Finland. In Finland, the ideal class strength for each year is different, which is been mandated in the law. For example, for the preschools, if the students are, there is an adult to student ratio is there as 1:8. For every 8 students, there has to be 1 adult. Now, 1 adult is not 1 teacher. That can be 1 teacher, 1 support teacher, and as well as 1 nurse. Nurse are kind of, you can say, in the concept of India, it can be Maushi or Aya kind of thing. But she is also qualified from the university, which is there. Now, why I'm telling you all this thing, once you go to grade 1, the size of the classroom is 1:20, 22, which is now increasing. And when I came to Finland in 2005, actually, the classroom size was restricted for that. But as of today, my son goes to classroom where the classroom has more than 49 students in the same class. Because Finland has understood the concept that the only small classroom doesn't give the quality. You need the interactivity and collaboration. And for collaboration, you need to form the teams. And forming the teams, you need the volume. You can't make a team within 5 people. Even if, let's say, for example, there are many Jilla Parishad schools, there are 10 students are there. I have visited those schools in many parts of the world. You go away from Mumbai, Pune and go to any Jilla Parishad school, you will not find the classroom size, because for an entire school, there will be 120 students and there are 6 grades. Each classroom will have 20 students. 20 students are there. But are we changing the teaching methods for that? If we have 6 students or 10 students, are we changing the teaching methods for that? Unfortunately not. So only the classroom strength doesn't make the sense for that. In fact, Finland is going on the reverse side. And that's one of the area of my research in the collaborative learning, that only by reducing the classroom size to 10 or 20, you can't increase the quality of teaching. That's one of the parts. So I think we can talk about that. And as we are going in the grade 7 and 8, the Finnish classrooms have very flexible part, because there are a lot of elective subjects are there. And this is the second aspect of the NEP which is there, because NEP gives for grade 9, 10, 11, 12, lot of electives, lot of options that, okay, you will not segregate between arts, commerce, science in the future, but you can take one subject of mathematics, chemistry, and music. Is it possible? The answer is yes. So those kind of electives, the organization-wide designing the school like this, which has this multiple option, is super difficult. I'm very much confident of the NEP, how it has been implemented and everything. I have only problem with the NEP initial plan is the timeline. We are so in a hurry to get the outcomes that they have given an outcome by 2025. We should have all the teachers with this requirement and all this. It is impossible to achieve. We have to be very realistic, and they are putting at the India level actually these numbers. It is impossible to achieve. But now that gives the second part. Is it possible that I will do it in a vast country? Like we start every sentence that is it possible in a vast country like India? Let me ask you the question actually. What is your area of work as a school? Is your own school. You don't need to worry about whole entire India. Even if the problems are there, they are at huge level. What is your part as a school owner or a school teacher is that your own area. If you make your school better, if you make the methods better, which you are already doing it, I can read that, okay, many of the methods which we talked today, you are using it. Coming up with a comprehensive solution for your school is the right thing to do. Because if you say that, okay, I will make the teacher strength 100%, I will make the class strength less, I will give all the facilities to the students, and then I will make sure that the teaching quality is increased, and then I will teach better. It will never happen in my life or your life or anybody's life. If Finland would have thought way back in 1970s, we wouldn't have been here to talk about Finland right now. It's the time that individual schools should take the initiative to implement what is required in the NEP. Don't worry about India, what India is doing. See about the jurisdiction of your own school. That's the point. I hope this will get in line. So I think there are 2 more principles which are there, but I think we are crossing the time, and I don't like crossing the time because it is exactly 1 hour, 30 minutes, including after the break that we started. So can I request everyone that, okay, Archana ma'am, that what is the timeline that we have still left with us right now?
We have unlimited time if you are not tired. But I would want to ask if there are any queries in the participants, because I can sense some restlessness and some people have left. So I think we are okay. We are enjoying listening to you, sir. But one hand I can see raised, Philomena. So,
Namaskar. This is Philomena, and namaskar to Mr. Kulkarni and Archana madam. And Kulkarni sir, आपण पुण्यात भेटलोय at Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, Kothruड, Pune. We have met there some years ago, and you came down and we interacted with the chairman of Bharati Vidya Bhavan, Dr. Dubashi. So I was just wondering one question to Archana Madam, that is a similar kind of conclave, can it be arranged in Pune? And I would like to get in touch with Mr. Kulkarni, because my director, Kakride sir, is also here in this forum. So we were just thinking of how to contact you.
Oh, great.
Right.
Nanda Kumar
Can I ask-
Kakride, sir?
Oh, Nanda Kumar Kakride sir.
Please give my regards to him.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir. I am there, sir, but I am not. Thank you very much. We have met. I know. Yes, sir.
Namaskar. We are connected on the Facebook as well.
Yeah. We are there, and we have met when the Dr. Dubashi was. You visited Paranspay School. Yeah, we met.
At Kothrood.
Yeah, at Kothur. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Can I answer my part of the question, Philomena ma'am?
yes.
PUSMA is very much open to having a similar conclave in Pune. In
Okay.
fact, we had invited the Pune members, Rajendra Singh from ISA, Independent English
Yes.
Schools Association.
Yes.
He had given the go-ahead that he is going to come in, but there seems to be a clash with another organization in Hyderabad who's having an event on the same day. So
Okay.
PUSMA representation he has to make there in Hyderabad, because all of us are here, and even Bharat Bhandarge from Pune. They are all ISA members, so we are tied up. We do have a tie-up with the Pune members too, the PUSMA members. So we definitely can have a conclave like this in Pune too. We are definitely open to it, and we would collaborate with ISA and get it done in Pune.
Thank you, Archana ma'am, and thank you, Kulkarni sir. Nice connecting with you.
Thank you very much. Actually, I would like to give you some of the case studies on how the early childhood education and the upper primary education, like grade 7, 8, 9, which will make the major change in the NEP implementation. I would like to give those examples of using some of the methods and which we have tried within our schools in India as well as in Vietnam and so on. So I think, but that is a very, very big topic, which was this essential 4 and 5 of the leadership as a school management and everything. But I think Archana ma'am, we should take other time for that. Actually, it will be good that we can have other, because it is impossible to cover everything, because it is more important to discuss and know, because this is a kind of very close connected network. I can see many familiar faces, so it makes sense to just giving the information doesn't make sense, and that's not the Finnish way is all as well.
Right. So are you saying, sir, that we take the queries and questions now? Or
Yeah. Yes. Whatever we discussed, let's take a query on that, and then we can have other session for some other points, what we discussed.
Okay. So here I have taken a
Some other
printout
points. Some other
of
points.
all the questions. Please keep yourselves mute, participants. Yes, Saket ji, I got your point. Actually, there are almost 50 to 60 questions which people have put in the registration link, and I've taken a printout of it. I cannot read all of them, and it doesn't look like it's possible to answer all of them, and some of them you've already answered. So what are the challenges of the new education policy? That seems to be playing on everyone's minds, including mine. So you spoke about one challenge about the timeline, that the timeline in terms of implementation is very unrealistic. I think all of us would agree to that, because we are the grassroots workers, so we know how it goes. But apart from that, can you highlight any other challenges that you think would come in the implementation part, sir?
As far as the strategy is concerned, the bigger view as well as the global picture looks promising, and this is the time that let me tell you, this is the last chance for India to revive its education. If we don't do it now, we will not be able to do it after 10 years. And this I proved this point from my previous part, that in 2009 we tried something. In 2017 there was a new change, but it totally gone unnoticed. After this part, there is a very, very important word, that there is a utopia in the world, but making the utopia real world, and that's called progress. If we want to progress India, then we have to think that there is something utopia there, and we have to achieve it. You can't, that after 20 years, India will be poor nation and everything. Would you like to do that? The answer is no, actually. Even though let's say this pandemic and everything is there, India will be a great nation, rule the world kind of thing, or let's say rule the minds of the people and kind of thing. We are the mind makers, and that's how even though it doesn't look achievable, that's how it should be there. That's number one. So great vision is there. Timeline is impractical. Third challenge actually, which is one thing which is required for that. And I think you are doing this. PUSMA is doing very good job for that. Is that our approach, the government approach toward the private schools? The private schools are not invented by the private school owners. They are been invented because of the need of the nation. In fact, earlier in the pre-British area, this era, the government was not even starting any schools at that time actually. It was the individuals who were motivated that, okay, if we'd like to start all great organizations are being started by the freedom fighters. You take DES, MES, and all these organizations which are being so they were there for that. So private schools are not some kind of a side-by-side part. So in a country like India, we need a private schools. But do we have a strategic integration of private schools with government as a part of the curriculum implementation, teacher training, sharing of resources, funding? Answer is no. I think that is a one bigger bottleneck actually we should be able to face. And the organization like PUSMA should be able to work on that direction more. Definitely training and everything is important. Even fees negotiations and all these things are important. But do we have enough voice in creating the impact at the strategic level at government? If the answer is no, then we should create that answer is. So that's a third challenge actually. The fourth challenge, which I think which will get the NEP, if we handle that challenge really well, is how we organize the teachers' well-being. What is happening? I think that I can prove with the data. Indian teachers are one of the top 5 hardworking teachers in the world. I will prove this with this information. Don't worry about what is happening in the government school and what is on my. Just by number of teaching hours in the classroom, an average 8th grader in India have a teaching hours of 1200 hours. Whereas Finland has teaching hours of only 650, half of that of India. But if you see I think you may come with this part, okay, because there is a lot of fun. I think content is not yet much covered, or the syllabus is less for Finland. Let me tell you, in Finland, the number of content, what the 8th grader in India is at least 4 to 5 times they are learning more content than Indian students. How is it possible? Because they are not concentrating on the content, they are concentrating on the skills. So it doesn't matter whether once you know the concept of comprehension, whether you read 20 pages or 200 pages, comprehension of 20 pages is as difficult as comprehension of 200 pages. So I think that's the objective. So teachers' well-being is more important because the teachers are in India, they are really hardworking. I think Anjana, perfect. Less is more principle, which we discussed quickly on the first slide. Actually, it was there. Very true. So concept here is that if we can be able to give more freedom to the teachers to how they would like to segregate their syllabus, and in the early years, in the mainly preschool and up to grade 6, if we concentrate on less content and more skills, then in future we can accelerate for more content and more skills. That strategy is there. Unfortunately, NEP is not yet there as a part of even NEP documentation as well. That fourth important part, the documentation, fifth part, the documentation give good emphasis on the assessment strategies. There are 3 assessment strategies are there, which are being told in the NEP document. Anyone can tell me what are those 3 NEP's 3 assessment strategies? Anyone knows that part? If you have read the NEP documentation,
There's something called Parak, which is assessment.
Parak is a structure.
Yes.
So it's a kind of structure of organizing the assessment in the future, or there is a kind of a star is one more structure, or kind of it is an administrative structure for that.
Right.
Okay,
It's formative and
Formative.
summative.
formative and summative, good one, but it is close. But the NEP gives.
I would say it's cumulative, cumulative or a form of assessment over the years, formative and summative.
Okay.
PC, yeah.
360 evaluation is also not there. So I still recommend you, because I think most of the times I'm asking you to go to the NEP document and read it again. The reason, because if teachers are not teachers should read the NEP document thoroughly. You should do it as a kind of a regular daily exercise. Okay, take one page and read it and how it is implemented in my classroom. That plan should be there actually. I think it is also comprehensive continuous. This comprehensive continuous assessment or evaluation, it was already there, but NEP gives us one important. So here I will give the answer. Go and check. There is called assessment of learning, assessment as learning, and assessment for learning. 3 strategies, which will give you the entire change in how you do the assessment in the school. Definitely it has assessment as learning comes as a part of formative assessment is also there. Changing word doesn't mean anything, but unless and until you need to know that, can we take the assessment itself as learning? Can we learn through the assessment instead of learning through the books? That's the process in which is there. So that's the first thing. So NEP has given this important aspect of that. Unfortunately, one bottleneck is that we always start reform in education through examination. And this NEP is bound to fail if we concentrate on examination first. You rightly said that teacher education, early childhood education, these are the fundamental things that first reform and then concentrate on the examination. Because for a government, which is there only for 5 years, for them it's very easy to say that, okay, we change the examination model and we change the education. This has already been tried for last many years. But no one could succeed in this part. Many governments, other parts of the world, there are, let's say, we work in UAE or in Dubai, for example. To improve the education quality, they put a concept called as a KHADA or KHADA, which is like a central assessment agency for quality in schools, and they put a lot of stringent criteria for that. It was a total American concept. When Finnish administrators and schools went there to check, they found that, okay, if we do this like this, we will never be succeed anything in this life. Because we always see that, okay, we always see the product. We see always the outcome. We don't see the process. What the formative assessment or this assessment as learning or for learning and assessment of learning gives the process importance instead of the product. And this will make a lot of impact. So governments always think that, okay, by changing just examination model, we reform. And this is a 5th challenge which is there. There are many other challenges, but these are the 5 highlight challenges which I think should be avoided in NEP. And who can do that are the teachers only. Government will not change it unless and until you show that how the implementation works. That's why we are working with the school to show that it's not impossible to implement this in the classroom. I still request you, once this pandemic opens, please visit Bangalore school now actually. It is in south of Bangalore actually. In future, from 2023 June onwards, we are opening the Pune school for the visits as well. So these are the requirements that you should go and visit and check it actually. Okay, first of all, we don't claim that, okay, we are doing great job. You go there, you can't say, okay, this is NEP ready school, there is a magic show going on. No, you need to stay there, you need to be there, you need to stay there at least for 1 week to understand what is the principles behind how the teachers are teaching, how they are interacting with the parents. It's a very difficult job. We don't expect that they should be able to be ready in 1 year or 2 years. We have a long time to go. We are not in a hurry. School should not be also in a hurry. Government should not be in a hurry. That is the point.
Yeah,
Okay.
we have a hand raised. Simran has been waiting patiently for a long time. And
Sorry for that. Yeah.
Joseph.
Yeah, because actually, because on my screen, when I see I can't see who has raised the hand actually. Yeah.
Joseph Nishambani. I don't know who.
I'm here. Yes, please. Yeah.
I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name, Joseph.
Yeah, I'm Joseph.
Yes, Joseph.
and originally from Zambia. Yeah, because I'm married, was my introduction. I'm very much keen to learn about the integration of Finnish education. You know, in Indian educational system, in Indian curriculum, but I feel like there are challenges. You know, my observation, I feel like, as Sir said, that the Indian teachers are unique in their own way. You know, so if as it is going on now, everybody say Finnish education is the best. To me, I feel it's the best on its own way because it is in Finland. So we as teachers in the Indian context, I think we should just study very hard the NEP, as Sir said, so that we see how we can really integrate it in our classrooms. I think that is very important here, rather than saying let's bring Finnish education, let's integrate, or let's get something from the Finnish education system. It is like that because it is in Finland. So we can create our own Indian brand if we just study the NEP. Thank you very much.
Joseph, you're highly right. And I think that's what the first point which I mentioned.
Yeah, because see, sir, I have been to Finland. I did my education at the University of Jyväskylä. You know?
Oh, super.
Yes, I've been to Jämsä schools. I taught in Jämsä schools for some times. I was in Lapland. But I feel, you know, they do it because they have made it that way. Why can't we make it our way as Indian? You know, I'm talking from the Indian perspective. Indian teachers really work very hard. Yeah. My wife, she's running a school. You know, I tried my best. I even bring the teachers from Jyväskylä. You know, in the year 2015 to 18, I brought about 18 teachers from the University of Jyväskylä. I was thinking that I'm going to transform the whole school into Finnish education. You know, but it was impossible. You know, it was impossible.
Yes, I think that is one of the misconception again, which is there. Is that if you bring Finnish teachers to any part of the world, they will create best schools.
And you become no, absolutely no. I don't agree with that.
Okay, who is saying that we should bring the Finnish teachers? When we are working with the schools, we should be working with Indian teachers only. Actually.
Yeah, so sir, I'm sorry to say, but really we just have to pull up our socks.
Okay, why you should be sorry?
Can I please pitch in now?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Sorry. Okay. Sorry. I think point well taken. So thanks, Jose, for that point.
Thank you.
So
Thank you. Sorry, sir.
I think you came late in this presentation, but we discussed something on the Indian pedagogy. So do we have the Indian pedagogy on this part? So that is the one requirement which is definitely that you should revisit this presentation in the recording. This is a recording available on
for
the
sure.
YouTube.
I will.
Yeah. Please go ahead. We talked about that. And second thing is that that's a very bad strategy to take the Finnish teachers to other part of the world and expect them to perform. Because here in Finland, as well as the Finnish teachers, when they move from one city to other, they take time to get and understand what are the things happening in the school. So it's impossible when they change the culture. Impossible. I think if you are in this Jyväskylä, you know how it is difficult to change the cities here in Finland for the teachers here. That's the biggest change right now problem. In Helsinki, we are right now having the preschool teachers shortage. It's a national headline. But there are many teachers are there in the northern part or the central part of Finland. They can't move in one day and start teaching in Helsinki. It's not possible.
Not possible. Yes,
exactly. Point well taken. Okay, so I think this is a good time that we should be able to now wrap up because already we have covered 2 hours of part and I think it's good time. I really thank you everyone for your patience and as well as your attendance. And I think that this audience is so amazing that they are still interested in a lot of questions.
Yes.
Thank you. Now it's my time to move to the next point. Yeah.
I want to thank everyone, especially the audience who is still smiling and staying here back with us to know more. The only one thing I wanted to add to the challenges segment, because that's when I had raised my hand, I wanted to talk from the solution standpoint, is that the schools which today will go determined saying that, yes, we're going to be NEP ready schools, have to take in its stride the owners, the leadership, the teachers, and the parents. That's how they will be able to accomplish what NEP has briefly outlined for us. And we have so much potential in the teachers when I work with them on ground. When you make them see the bigger picture, they can beautifully unlearn to learn this pedagogy. So there are few courses, there are more programs coming with PUSMA and CCE Finland. I don't think Hiram got a chance to show you all those courses that are coming up, but I will be talking to you guys when we meet personally, and I look forward to sharing more. I hope Archana Miss will allow me to talk a little bit more than 30 minutes of my slot time when I see her in the conclave. I thank everyone. There are so many comments that when we go back to the recording, we will take just an hour to read all the excellent comments that you have left for us. So that's from my side. Thank you very much, Mr. Sakit, Archana, and everybody who's still there. There are about 150 people still there. Amazing. We are so grateful. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Simran. I really look forward to meeting you on the 26th. And I put the YouTube link again in the chat box because there was a question in the chat box about the YouTube link. Also, the recording of the session would be emailed to all of you. So, and I think overall, PUSMA, by coordinating this program, has brought together so many like-minded people. And I think in the long run, we would continue to have more useful and meaningful sessions. I think there's 145 or 160 people who continue to stay on are the ones who are totally, like Joseph mentioned here, those wonderful Indian teachers who are a class apart. And those teachers and those pedagogical leaders who would make a change and bring NEP into reality. And I would like to thank Mr. Hiram Kulkarni from the bottom of everybody's heart here for being such a wonderful resource person, extremely receptive to queries and questions. And there's a huge number of questions, let me tell you. I think we should have one more session, and it would really help us. But I think that could be maybe after a while, maybe a month later or so, because that's when we'll get more clarity about what the implementation timeline is and how many of us can actually enroll for the training programs that we've been talking about. How many of us can actually physically come for the PUSMA conclave on the 26th, where we are going to again look at the NEP implementation from various other perspectives, from the policymakers' perspectives, from the ECCA giants who are sitting and writing the policies and looking at the implementation part. So 26 is going to be a power-packed day for us. And I hope all of you, or maximum of you who are in Mumbai, can join. Rest of you who wish to come from another part of the country, we would make stay arrangements for you all. And like we are, Simran is going to travel all the way from Bangalore and be with us. I thank you, Simran, for that. And I really look forward to a fruitful session and a long and enriching relationship with CCE Finland and with all the participants here. Thank you so much. Thank you, Hiram sir.
Thank you very much, and see you at the conclave.
Yes.
Maybe Hiram can join us online.
Online, yes, we'll be
Yes.
having a Zoom link, Zoom live streaming on one of the LED screens. So because a couple of our sponsors have requested that because they can't be there. So we definitely send the Zoom link to a selected few who can join us on Zoom.
Sounds good.
Yeah. All right. So see you all.
Thank
Have
you
a
so much,
wonderful day.
Archana, for this. And you have been energetic like the time you started. So amazing connecting with you and being on this forum with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, Hiram sir, any last words?
Oh, okay. One second. Yeah, thanks. Okay, so I think from the bottom of my heart as well, thanks to all the wonderful audience being active and asking a lot of questions and queries. And if we actually the original, I was thinking to have the breakout rooms in this webinar so that we can discuss on specific issues. And we have amazing, wonderful these educators are here. But somehow, because of the strength and number of participants, we cannot do that. And still, I have some practical examples of, for example, how to design creative timetable in the classroom. Or take an example that, okay, we have come up with 20 non-value added activities which we do in the schools. How to remove those 20 non-value added activities, which government is not asking, no statutory body is asking, but we are doing it only because of somebody has told us in the past. And so that gives a lot of freedom. So actually, I really agree that the teachers are highly burdened in India, but the problem is not with someone else. The problem is with the teachers, because they don't know what tasks they should do actually, and some things which they really don't need to do, they are still doing it only because somebody else has told. I think that's the point. In the next maybe webinars we'll talk about that. Thank you very much, everyone. Wonderful part. Let's be in touch. I'm happy to get connected with everyone.
Thank you,
And
Mr.
for the same part,
Safford also.
yeah, exactly, yeah. And for that, actually, we have designed one simple part with the various governments. Actually, this concept called as a basic NEP training implementation program for the schools and for the teachers as well. So these are programs what we are working on right now. We are expecting more than 20 schools from each state will go for this program in the year 22 and 23. So looking forward to have you here and happy to collaborate with PUSMA on this. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Hiram sir. Thank you, everyone.